What's going on, everyone? Atomic Deadman here, and I'd like to welcome you back to another community wishlist for Red Dead Redemption 2 Online that we as a community deem worthwhile to continuously play throughout time that is exciting, fun, action-packed, including new means to make money, easier money methods such as heists, amazing in-depth roles, and much more will be covered within this video today. Also, I'd love to point out 92% of you are not subscribed, so if you could, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, click the bell icon down below to get notifications when I do upload a video. I do hope you enjoyed today's video. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. The major part of this video is going to be us discussing roles that also define different money-making methods that could help us as players within the community. So let's dive right into our roles. The first role I'd like to discuss is Oil Tycoon. There's an oil field in RDR2. Imagine being able to drill oil and sell oil carts so the player can make deliveries to earn more substantial amounts of money. Nextly would be a lumber company. Have the ability to own a lumber company where you can chop down trees, increase your character's strength, and sell carts of lumber for higher amounts of money. Rockstar could even use Harriet as a returning character from the naturalist role that would be trying to stop the player from destroying her little critters' homes and introducing another dynamic and layer to that character. Railroad Baron. Give players the ability to move mass amounts of valuable goods such as freight, supplies, lumber, metal, oil, guns, and ammo that can be sold for a substantial amount of money and or gold that is similar to GTA Online's gun running that you move with a train instead of vehicles and helicopters in that nature, seeing this is the Wild Wild West. Something that always piqued my interest was being a prospector. Imagine Rockstar introducing a prospector role. Let's have the gold rush hit and players mine for gold, silver, iron, steel, coal, and even diamonds and minerals that will make you rich and will segue into a high life update for players similar to that to GTA 5 Online, the high life update, but not as overbearing for players to spend mass amounts of money on for invaluable items. Here's one that will add a perfect dynamic to the game and will also be an improvement to the bounty hunter role, the lawman / US Marshal. If a player starts shooting up the town, let's say you can take them down, kill them, or even arrest them for extra XP and money. Give player the option to set bounties on other players in game at the sheriff's office in town if a player keeps killing you, putting a target on that specific player's back. Enable players to have unique customizable clothing with suits and other items such as badges that you can pin to any outfit that you're actually currently wearing. Here is a role that everyone, including myself, have been waiting for forever. It is the outlaw role. Yes, similar to GTA 5 Online Motorcycle Club, Rockstar should enable players to create their own gang to rob trains, stagecoaches, stores, and even NPCs on the street. Also, the stagecoach fences need to return to Red Dead Redemption 2 Online so that players can steal and sell stagecoaches or even rob them using our expensive lockbreaker that currently has no use within the game. Also, a feature that needs to be reworked in online is make it so when you actually use a face bandana or a mask, it is harder for the law to recognize you when you commit a crime. Add heists so we can make more money and feel like an actual true outlaw within the Wild West. The heist system that was used in GTA 5 Online needs to be entirely reworked to where you don't need to be as dependent on all other players within a certain allotted group. There should be more dynamic options to heists, such as choosing to solo or even use a two-man crew to pull off a heist, and the game should show the difficulty of the heist based on how many players you have within a certain amount of group, creating some type of dynamic to where it will be a harder level because you have more things to do the less people you have, making your success rate a little bit lower than it would be if you had more people, but the payout could be better and you could make more money as an individual. If a player manages to die, it should not fail the entire heist and make players start completely over. This is an unnecessary punishment for all players for another player's failure. Instead, what Rockstar needs to do, if a player fails, make it so the leader of the heist presets a percentage loss if one fails to follow through with their objectives that pertains to all players if they fail and die during that heist. Another player can then pick up the slack and still complete the heist without that individual. Heists should be simple, similar to the story mode, and not as complex to that of GTA where you have to do a lot of setup. When you play Red Dead Redemption 2, the story mode, you pretty much have Micah come in and say, "Alright Arthur, let's rob a bank!" And that's pretty much it. You throw some clothes on, you go to Valentine, you rob a bank, that's it. You know, you don't have to go through all these extra steps like GTA did. So what that should pretty much pertain to you is you shouldn't have to go through that same thing. It should be easier, quicker, and to the point, guns blazing, and holding up a bank. The next role that I'd like to discuss is cattle rustler / cowboy role. These roles should be prerequisites to the ranch owner, to where players have to become a cowboy and or cattle rustler before they can get a ranch of their own. These two roles should grant players with the ability to either steal someone's livestock and sell them at auction, take them back to their own ranch, or even get hired as a cowboy hand similar to John Marston to protect the livestock on its route from cattle rustlers, or even fight other players who could potentially steal your livestock, similar to that of a long-distance trader wagon within the trader role. A way to really make this feature more dynamic and or even mirror that of the trader role is where there's a long-distance feeding migration or even a short-distance migration to where you can choose how much risk you typically take on. After you complete the prerequisites of a cattle rustler and cowboy role and you get it to level 20, there should be an opportunity for players to become a ranch owner, similar to that of John Marston, where he buys his own land and builds his own ranch. This role should enable players to have the ability to farm, breed, raise, buy, and sell cattle. Give player the option to partake in chores around the ranch to produce goods and shipments to sell to a town within a delivery, such as milk, eggs, grain, hay, wheat, bread, etc., with the ability to upgrade the ranch and processes. A highly requested feature from my understanding is they should include horse breeding within this role, where you can breed unique and diverse horse types that can be sold at an auction for other online players to purchase directly from you as the player. Here's one that I personally would love to see as an activity or even a full-blown role, and that would be the boxer. Players should be able to fight other players and NPCs in an underground type of arena in Saint Denis, Blackwater, and other major cities around the map. Bets should be placed by other players on who will win or even lose, earn reputation through being a champion, or even be a swindler and throw the fight to make some extra cash on the side. This next role would include Mexico. This role would be known as the smuggler. When I was thinking of the smuggler, I was thinking more going back onto GTA 5 with an import-export type of style, but smuggling goods into and out of Mexico and fighting the law off within this role, trying to get to a seller to sell a specific illegal type of stolen good to make that extra money. This next role will be something I think everyone will personally like. It's the entrepreneur. Give players the opportunity to own a store to gain daily passive revenue, or own a hotel for players to bathe and sleep in for a night. Own a saloon that's similar to GTA 5 Online Nightclub DLC. Head a casino, rent out apartments, gain passive daily income, etc. Just give us the ability to own these properties and to actually benefit from them and gain money and have specific features that we can utilize. The last role on my list that I know a lot of other people want is to innovate into the game a professional fisherman. They should have the ability to own a dock for boats, steamboats, etc., where they can go and big game fish and sell them for a high dollar amount and gain reputation as this outdoors type of individual who's a big game hunter for these fish. Nextly, we're going to move on to game features that should really come to Red Dead Redemption 2 online to make it feel more like the story mode that Rockstar wants it to feel like. They want the online to almost mirror that of the story mode in their own words. So let's see what we could do as a community to give them some ideas to make it feel more like the story mode. With the first feature I'd love to see is include the option to grow your beard and your hair out within the game. Add a shaving system to the camp so you can shave your beard off at camp, similar to the story. They should also give players the ability to take a bath in online to get all that grime off of them. Add something similar to the casino in GTA 5 Online, creating a social hub for players, whether that's a saloon, hotel, or something of that nature. What also needs to happen is revamp the honor system and make it mean something online I can shoot up Saint Denis or Valentine or Strawberry, escape and pay my bounty, and feed my horse 3 times and have a full honor again within the game. The system as of right now is broken and needs to have more meaning than being viewed as a toxic player online. In my time playing Red Dead Redemption 2 online, I see a lot of people role-playing within the game. So they need to add an activity where players can challenge one another to a duel and draw on one another and shoot each other down in the street without any other people trying to interrupt them, but can view the spectacle that's happening. Red Dead Redemption 2 has been out for 2 years. Properties need to be added. I understand the developers want you to live off the land in a camp like an outlaw, similar to the story mode, but the game, like I said, has been out for 2 years now. It's time to push ourselves into a new era of Red Dead Redemption 2 online, giving us new dynamics to work with within the Red Dead community, making us feel like we're actually progressing instead of having this overpowered camp that is practically outlived its lifetime. One thing that I thought was really cool in the story mode was the armored stagecoach that you have to rob. I would typically like to see them add an armored stagecoach that we can upgrade, even have a crank-like turret on it. That would be really fun to have within the game. One thing that I was really surprised that wasn't in the game was being able to take someone as a hostage or wrap your arm around them and use them as a human shield. We see enemies do this in Red Dead Redemption 1, and we see them do it in Red Dead Redemption 2 in cutscenes when people grab someone and use their gun and use the person as a human shield. I'd really like that to be a feature where I could grab anyone off the street and have a standoff with sheriffs, get money, or even use them in a gunfight and take someone and use them as a bullet sponge as I'm shooting other people. And if they get shot, I can run away and get behind cover. That would just add so much more to the game. It would show more of an outlaw side to you, that you have no regard for anyone but yourself, and it shows a real selfishness to who you are as an outlaw. And I think that would really add a lot of unique scenarios to the game. Here's one that I find really interesting, is being able to surrender and wait in jail for a certain period of time in real time instead of paying the actual bounty if your bounty's too high. What needs to be added without putting you in a different lobby or something of that nature is adding activities like Liar's Dice, Poker, Blackjack, and Five Finger Fillet, where you can't be killed, so you're sort of grayed out in a passive mode while you're partaking in these activities within the world, but it doesn't put you into a separate lobby of that nature. Something that I personally like to do is customize my player's appearance, not physically in his face, but his clothing. Something that I spend a lot of time in is changing different outfits, buying different clothes, seeing what types of styles I can make different from other people, so I can differentiate myself from a lot of other individuals. But the issue is there's so much clothing options in the game now and customizable options. There's not enough save slots for outfits. I'd really love to see them add at least like 10, maybe even 15 more slots so I can have more saved outfits at my disposal throughout the game. I think that would be really nice to have. Something that Red Dead Redemption 2 Online is really lacking in is new firearms, such as the high-powered pistol that was introduced in the first Red Dead Redemption. I really think they need to add more weapons. As being a seasoned player and playing on the PlayStation 4 and also on PC now and moved over to PC, I own all the firearms and weapons within the game. We need more guns. There's not enough firearms anymore. The last good firearm that I think was added was the Lamont pistols, which are fantastic. I'd love to see a high-powered pistol with that high fire rate added into the game and see what type of dynamic it has in PvP. As we near the end of our journey together, my friends, what do you guys think should be in Red Dead Redemption 2 Online? Please, let's brainstorm together as a community of what Red Dead Online should look like in the future. Also, please make sure to subscribe to my channel because 92% of you currently aren't subscribed. And make sure to please click that bell icon to know when I upload another video. Thank you again for the time you spent with me, joining me, your host, Atomic Dudman, and I look forward to seeing all of you next time.